Hey, 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 hope you're doing awesome. You're not doing much of a um perfect, a boat works. Hey there, hope you're having a great Saturday. We are doing a little bit of a, well, it is an art stream, but less of a tutorial stream this time. I'm working on a little project, and yeah, come hang out with me. It may not be the most interesting of stuff. Hey there, Wayan, how are you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday afternoon. I was saying that, you saw me like doing pixel art and stuff, Wayan. Or like, doing the tutorials and whatnot. And, I was doing that, I was thinking, I really wanted to see whether I could learn how to make pixel art of, I guess, architecture. I've always loved architecture and taking architectural photos and stuff like that. So wanted to say, can I make pictures of very Singaporean architecture, like shophouses. And yes, Wayan, you got a sub. I'm so glad for you. Amazing. Can use the hearts. I've got a few other emotes that I started building up. We'll see whether or not. I mean, it takes a bit of time for them to be approved. But yeah, so I'm just gonna be here trying to figure out the math required to make a shop house. Yeah, that's right, Wayan. The Nuclear Limbs, they gave a bunch of subs as well. They're so generous. So I was blown away actually when they did that as well. So yeah, how are you? What did you get up to today? Oh, I love that face. All right, let's see if I'm just going to do a very simple kind of a shop house. I guess I just want to like, okay, so I did a little bit more than just a normal sketch because I wanted to see if I could make these curve or the roof work, and I kind of think I did, right? I'm actually pretty pleased with how that looks, to be honest. Like, let's see, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm actually pretty. I'm pretty pleased with how that looks. Yes, Wayan. It is a shop house. I wanted to see whether I could do like some pixel art of shop houses. It's going to be a really difficult project. Probably one that is too difficult for an absolute beginner like me. But I mean, I thought, why not? Just give it a shot, right? Why not? Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna try my best. Thank you, Ian. It's also because it's just like such an interesting thing. Oops. Whoops. To try and make as well. Okay, why isn't... I don't know if it's me kind of like misremembering. the shortcuts for this, but why aren't you working? Come on, come on, come on. There you go. At least you aren't being a pain in the bum anymore. Oops, actually. Let me see whether I can start my time-lapse thing again. There you go. Ooh, well done for attempting the secret rhyme for abode. Hey there, RJ. How are you doing? How are you doing? So I decided to... It's probably going to be too difficult a project, so this may not be super interesting. But I am trying to see whether I can do some very quintessential, like, Singaporean architecture and pixel art. So these are shop houses that are some of my favorite kinds of buildings in Singapore. But how are you doing, RJ? Did you manage to finish all your geometry homework? You know what? Oh, no, no what? Actually, no, I don't want that. The reason I'm undoing that is because there are there's a pixel or so that's in there, and I don't want that to get in the way. That isn't very clean though. RJ says, oh my gosh, you're dead. Okay, good, good. I'm glad you finished your homework. Okay, where's my roof sketch? Come on, roof sketch. Oh, wrong one to be trying to edit. Is that where I want to be? No, let's do it that way. Yeah, I think that's closer to what I want to be getting rid of. Does that look right? Yeah, kind of does. Not Morse code. All right, all right. I feel like that's kind of possible. I am gonna do a more simple design, I think. But what color scheme should I pick for my shop house?
Gold, gold,
Oops.
gold!
Nice, well done, RJ. You got it. Okay, I'm looking for pixel art palette. Don't worry, Wayan. You're on track. You're on track. It's just trying to figure out what word rhymes with a boat. A bunch of people can answer that. I think I have it set for up to 5 people. That's why it'll delete the correct guesses from chat. Okay. I'm trying to look for a nice palette. To use. This is a pretty nice one. Ooh, that's there's a clue there in chat, Wayan, by Rhymebot. It's a bit of an obscure one though. It's not the easiest of clues, that one. Okay, let's see. Some of these are quite nice. Looking for a cozy? No. It's not quite pastels that I want though. I want it to be a bit punchier. Maybe nostalgic is the word? Nostalgic. Okay, I'll just... Is that opening it up? No. Download a... Copy image. Whoops. Okay, okay. Can I create a new palette? Okay. Save palette as bathhouse. Ghibli. Alrighty, let's load up them palettes. Okay. I am okay, so let me just start a timer. I'll put my head down, I'll get into this particular piece, and then I'll come back for air in a little bit. I do want to see whether I can focus on this for a wee bit. That's a nice bit of detailing. A little too much detailing, but always feels like there is some kind of like crenellation or something, right? That happens. What's in this layer? Nothing. Can delete the layer? Delete layer, okay. Ground floor sketch, I've my grid. Roof shingles, roof, okay, cool. Interesting, because there's a little bit of that. You know what I'll do is that, should I make, maybe I'll make that kind of stick up a little bit, have, should I make that recessed a little bit though? Interesting. So many decisions to make. Okay, so what I'm pausing about here is that these things look like they pop out a little bit, right? If you can see that. And I'm just like figuring out how I would make that happen. And I think what I'll do is that I'll recess. See, this pops out, this pops out, this pops out. Okay, I'll just need to have things that pop out from here. Maybe I'll extrude them then. Okay, no. I think I know how I'll do it. Interesting. So many patterns. Let's see. Let me call this upper floor. And Okay. Feel like I'm slightly lost. Okay. I have a better sense of the shapes that I need to create now. It is this shape. Yeah, there you go. That looks a bit more pillar-like, doesn't it? Excuse me. Yeah, and then those pillars, because the pillar things kind of come down. Wait, but they stick out. Ah, no. So they stick out. But they're visible, so they would come out here. I'm going to replicate that over because it's a little crowded there. I'm not sure if it's translating the way it should. Hey there, bud. How you doing? I am back. On the pixel art shenanigans. As you can see, I'm biting off a project that is much bigger than what I should chew. But trying to see if I can do some pixel art actually of a shop house. It is actually what I'm wanting to attempt to bugger. Yeah, so just in general, like shop houses are of like the Little India cartoon style, a bit colorful, but I absolutely that spirit. Oh, what's Ugh. There we go. Okay. That does look like a little crenulated, sticky outy bit, I think. So I did kind of like sketch out like what roof shingles might look like. So something like that. Hey there, I'm Minecrafter. How are you doing? Ooh, erode is a good word. I'm gonna... Whoa. Oops. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for the reminder.
Could you pick me up so I can bite you?
let's see. Okay. Random Minecrafter has redeemed a clue. Random Minecrafter said yes, hoping not so I can bite. Let's see. We are looking for a 2-syllable word. A 2-syllable word. I'm trying to figure out whether it's a verb or noun. My brain's a little slow today. It's a verb. It's a verb. I meant to be pomodoring, damn it. Okay. You're welcome. I'm trying to see whether I can create like a little... crenulated design. I'm just gonna spend so much time on this. So let me make the grid a little lighter. Okay. Because now with, let's see. I'm not sure if that's reading. Oh, you know what it is? Because he needs to pop out here as well. Okay, that reads a bit more like the way I wanted it to, kind of like sticking out. Yeah. That's better, that's better. Oh, thank you, Random Minecrafter, for saying the roof is awesome. I'm actually pretty pleased of it. I was playing around with it yesterday and was thinking, I'm pretty pleased it actually kind of looks curved. Thank you, Random Minecraft. I really appreciate that. Okay. There's so many details. Like, I'll just leave it that for now. But mainly because I haven't quite figured out how the math would work for, I guess like that.
Gold, gold, gold.
Nice spot.
Gold, gold, gold.
Awesome, awesome. Random Minecrafter guessed it first, but bot typed it. Yes, that's right, Random Minecrafter. That's why I said Erode was a good guess. Okay, where's my grid? I'm wondering if if that's too sticky outy. Yeah, I think that feels slightly better. see, random Minecrafter said that. Oh, you're going to get But's haircut. Oh, super awesome. Random Minecrafter, you got a mini keyboard. You're gonna start working on music? That's amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. Ugh. I'm not sure if I... Not sure if I like that. Not sure if I like that at all. But it isn't too bad, I guess. It's just a little... Hey there, Momo-san. How are you doing? Just doing a slow, lazy stream today, mainly because I kind of want, like, I was doing the pixel art, and I kind of like say I love, you know, our architecture. Yeah, you know, I love taking pictures of architecture, and it was always my dream to live in a shop house. And you know, I don't have the money to make that happen, but I was thinking that maybe I can do art of at least do pixel art of the architecture I love. So this is me trying to figure out. I both teach myself how it works as well as attempt this, because y'all know I don't know rubbish about pixel art. I'm quite literally making this up as I go along. But I can't say that I'm too disappointed in myself, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think it's a half decent attempt. How are you, Momo-san? Are you back to 100%? I didn't know you were on a work trip as well. Random Minecrafter said, yes, they made a few songs, but it's been difficult to play the piano part on your iPad using GarageBand. Oh yeah, that must be really difficult. Now you have a keyboard. Amazing. Oh, you had to live in a shop house too, Random Minecrafter? Momo-san said, did they think 70%? They're back to 70%? Okay, you went for a short trip. And you said it was a work trip, was it? Was it fruitful? Was it good? Wow, another work trip next week and then a personal trip? You travel so much for work. Well, I hope you have a good personal trip coming up. Ooh, that looks nice. That does look nice. Like, even though I'm the one saying it myself. Mo-san said the trip was kinda okay, but you had to take a half day sleep because of the medication. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe you're still like traveling and stuff like that. I'm guessing it's a busy time for you and you have to do these travels. Because that's pretty harsh, you know? Okay, so actually, let me say upper floor beams. I'm creating lots of different layers because I don't know how to do art. Oh, no. Let's see, upper floor. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, we've got those colors laid down. I'll do some kind of like pattern designing and whatnot there. I think it's time to so many layers. Upper floor. I'm doing this only because I'm pretty sure I'll screw something up bad. And so I want to be able to what's this? Upper floor. Oh, actually, it's weird. I don't want these lines. They should get rid of them. So what I'm hoping is that, like, you know, as I'm learning, and like I said, again, this probably isn't the best thing to start with, because it probably is way outside my skill level as a first as a first thing to be working on. But I figured, why not? But yeah, I know if I can do this well, I would love to, you know, work on an entire series. See, again, I'm not sure if okay, it's fine, it's fine. Let me just try and draw the slats. Yeah, that kind of works. Oops. Okay. Primers, I'm not sure how those windows will read. But let's take a look. Hmm. You like the color choice, Random Minecrafter? The blues? The red side, I mean, I put it as an outline. I think I'll need to change that. Or maybe just use a different kind of shade. No, I might need to change that, but... I'm not sure. I'm trying to see whether how to execute this idea. Well, it's either that or just kind of go, oh, okay. I go full hog into it. Oh, that's not good. Try and draw a straight line. This rhymes. Okay. Then again, maybe something like that isn't too bad. One of the things I am also trying to see though is that, you know, perhaps with a little bit of dither. Ooh. Would I be able to so what I'm curious about is if I don't think so. I don't think we can make it work. Where's my zoom? That might actually be kind of okay. It's just that these pixel 1, 2 seem a little odd, but
Ooh, look who's first.
oops. Hey there, RH, how are you doing? what it is. Bugger. Let me get rid of all that. I started my death from a wrong spot. Hey, RH. How you doing this Saturday? Slow Saturday for you. Yeah. It's a pretty lazy one for me as well, if I'm being honest. Ooh, bot has redeemed an owl fact. Let's see what Rhymebot has for us. Owls mate for life and often use the same nest year after year. Oh, pretty interesting trivia. I didn't actually know owls mated for life. Well, this is a very single owl though. I'm sorry to say. I mean, sorry more for myself than anything else, but okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop faffing around with window detailing because I think the blocking is what's important. Now, like that. And let's see. Yeah, and then we'll have that full down. Yeah, something like that. Sorry, I'm just trying my hand at doing some pixel art. You probably saw me trying to do a little bit of it, doing tutorials and stuff. So I decided why not set myself an audacious project that's way out of my skill level, because what else is the internet for if not embarrassing yourself? Oops. Okay. It's not too bad, not too bad. This kind of has some kind of life to it, no? Some kind of texture sense that I had wanted. Looking at more pictures of the shop houses. Looking at the references and whatnot to see. There's definitely going to be patterning of sorts here. Yeah, I just don't know how to draw the designs just yet. That's just me like faking a pattern. Like kind of like some kind of ventilation grill thing, maybe. I'll just use it as a placeholder to know that I'm meant to be doing something in there. Actually, it's probably not even like that, is it? That isn't a very good placement choice. Yeah, that's slightly better. Only slightly. But say sometimes there are nice geometrical patterns there. Yeah, like so that the patterns, there are tiles that can go in there. Ooh, diamond shapes is an idea. Oh yeah, nice. I might try that when I do like flesh that out more. So I just now got like a sketch of a pattern thing in there. The windows also need to be sketched out more. I think currently they're a little lackluster. Not super keen on how these lines look, but I think generally pretty okay. Huh. I mean, honestly, it's coming along a little better than I thought. Okay. Okay, so now I wanna, should I do that first? Bud said that their late grandmother used to own a shop house. It's always interesting going there as a kid. Oh, that's super cool. The downstairs doors were wooden boards. Then she upgraded to metal paneled doors. Yeah, I know. I was really wanting to kind of do like wooden, kind of like a wooden door in there, but I don't know if I'll be able to render that. It'll be super cool though. But that's so awesome to hear that you, I guess, had access to a shop house when you were a kid. What is this? Hey, there's something wrong. Those lines don't make sense. Oh. Sorry, I'm kind of paused for a bit because something doesn't feel very right, and I'm trying to see what it is I can fix it. Ah, but she had to sell it to the government. You don't know if the building is still standing or not. Oh, it probably got like repurchased or repossessed for development work or something, right? Yeah, it probably isn't standing anymore. Actually, no, I'm just gonna... I'm confused. Let me count. Good old counting. What is going on here? I feel like the math has gotten a little away from me. Which isn't great, rhymers. But we got this, we got this. One up. And over, okay. Alright. Alright. No need for panic. What's this? All right. So let me just start that timer again so I can go back deep down. Because I'm trying to figure out how I would approach the side pillar situation. See, side pillars. Okay. Let me just do it in a really obnoxious color. just so we can see what we are working with. All right, rhymers, let's do that. We'll just have 3. Not out. No, let's make it bigger. Let's make it even bigger. Let's go full hug. Full hug. Okay, so that's one way, I feel, of doing a pillar. And then we can just move that. Downsies. Like that. That's a bit more of a boring one. Not quite the style you're looking for. But even then, these are not that stylized anyway. So I think we can get away with... I'm just going to take a really weird color. As well. Yeah, I'm just thinking something like that, to be honest. Uh-huh. Don't mind the colors, y'all. I'm just using it to block out what the pillars might look like. I think that's pretty nice. I think. Oop, sorry. Let's use sketch. 2, 2, 2. I'll just fill those. up just so we have some kind of color. Yeah. I kind of feel like those are half decent. And then if I you know what? No, side pillars come down. Okay. Pillars, I need y'all to work with me, man. Okay, much better. Should it have a really thick? I guess it should, right? Push down. Crown frost catch disappears. All the side pillar. Oops. All right. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that one bit. I'm just looking to also see what this ledge thing might look like. Oh, interesting. I think what we're gonna have to add is a lower, okay, between floors. So Ramas, what you're doing here is actually a pretty strange exercise where let me hide that. I'm kind of like just adding. Yeah, essentially just that. It feels like. Where's my lower floor sketch? Yeah, I wanted to have that little thing. Yeah. RH says that they recently discovered about themselves that they've been using mostly wrong ear tips for your in-ear monitors. Oh no, have they been like the wrong size? Too small? Too big? Like, do you get earaches? I always actually really struggle with getting the right size for in-ear monitors, and that's why I prefer headphones. How do you discover it? What happened, RH? Okay. Do I need to come out even further? That's a bit weird. Why are there so many lines? I have a feeling that some alignment is off. Because it is, isn't it? Blech. Gross. Okay. Let's see. RH says that they've been jamming the smallest ear tips into their ear canals that could find, thinking that what you needed to get a good fit was the largest ear tips, and pretty much every earphone seats itself better in the outer part of the ears. Oh, so you've been using like ear tips that are too big? Which makes sense, because if you jam rubber into small holes, it'll wriggle itself out, because rubber is very uncompressible. Most IEMs are not truly designed to be worn in a way that is jammed into the ear canal will come out. I did not know that. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Two. Rhymers just like found a little issue. A little issue. Is there an issue with you? Where's the grid line? It feels as though it is, right? Wait. Upper floor beams. Why? So down and one, that's a problem. And okay, I think we've solved that. Art says that they might drop a sentence. You're jamming the... okay, yes, yes. Make and keep the good seal. Ooh, for more or less all the IMs you buy, the nozzles are way too large in diameter. Only IMs with small bores and triple flange ear tips might do that. Right, okay. Let's see, but having your ears so stuffed with triple flange ear tips while walking around is dangerous and hard on your ear canal. They can start to hurt and also tickle the fine hairs in your ears. Yeah, so I've got like really small ear canals, right? So and they do hurt quite easily as well. I think that's why most IMs kind of really hurt. But so RH, are you meant to then use like larger ones and not jam them in, just meant to sort of like almost the outside area? Was that what you meant by what you were saying earlier? I think that makes sense now that I understand. Yeah, you use the largest ones. Okay, now I'm just like, what the hell, man? What the hell's wrong with those beams? Let me... This one's really doing my head in, y'all. Oh. Okay, that's just really weird. I must have... What happened? Something really weird happened there, y'all. Okay, beams. Beams. You know, it's annoying and frustrating, all these errors. And mistakes are, I have to say, it's great learning. Like, really great learning. Ari says use the largest one since most of your tips have a single flange and a mushroom shape. Oh, I know what that means. That is very well on the outside of the ear canal. Ah, so it sits in the bowl shape outer ear and seals that instead of being jammed into the ear canal that would force it out. That makes a lot of sense. Also, you got yourself the Sound Note Zero. Ooh, super cheap IEMs, but more than decent performance. Oh, that's a nice find. Thanks for sharing. Okay, looks like I finally gotten these lines to where we want them to be. Between floors. Hide the beams. Between floors. Wait, what's wrong with that? Oh no, have I? Ugh. Making so many mistakes, C's. All the mistakes, C's. Okay, that's fine. I can use this. For our windows, paste it on between floors. There we go. Between floors. And then fill her up. Great. Actually, let me go clean this this not so nice aspects up. Let's see, I wanna I think that's decent enough. Yeah, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Oops, bugger. Yeah, that works. Look at that, Rhymers. Look at that. So if you've stumbled in, hi there, this rhymes with orange. You can tell from my lack of conversations and panicked undoing that I am not an artist by any means. I'm just trying to learn how to do a little pixel art by myself. And I love, so I'm from a little island state in Southeast Asia called Singapore, which is 1 degree north of the equator. And I absolutely love the architecture that we have here. Shophouses included. So even though this is way outside my skill level, I said, hey, why not try do some pixel art of the architecture? So I'm trying to do it of the shophouses, which you can see in the little monitor over there. So thank you for coming along. I usually play point and click games. A little older, maybe indie retro games, some people say, but drop us a follow if you enjoy that, or a pixel art, or if you're a pixel artist and are dying to put me out of my misery and teach me how to do this better. I would love to know more. Ooh, alright, just a really good idea of having a Ooh, well done! Alright, awesome, you got it so quickly. Oh yes, you got there actually with your first guess. Amazing. And yes, RH, actually Panic Undo would be an awesome one. Yeah, it was a typo. And but thank you so much. I am, okay, it's kind of wonky, it's not super polished, but I'm quite proud of it. I truly am. Thank you, RH. Saying it looks decent. Well, okay. I mean, it's still early sketches. I want to go ahead and get more designs and stuff done. It does feel sometimes like more like a technical drawing. Okay, I think I can get rid of my roof sketch. The ground floor sketch. Oh, interesting. Oh no, okay, but that's fine because I'm gonna block it out with that's the upper floor. Nice. RH asks what type of architecture is this? Okay, so this is ooh, I don't know what the language is. Maybe I should Google that. So it's actually pre-colonial in Singapore. So these are shop houses, and so there would be like stores, like merchant, like trader stores, effectively shops at the bottom. Then upstairs would be where the merchant families would live, and they would be really long and narrow. And for a lot of it, it'll be like, so one end of it would be like where things get loaded up and whatnot, and then the other end is where the like store is as well, and they tend to be 2 or 3 stories high. So it's a really historic kind of architecture in Singapore, in Malaysia as well, some parts of Malaysia. So they're constructed between I'm just looking at this, 1840s and 1960s. So not all pre-colonial, but pre-World War II. And what I really like is that a lot of these buildings have been preserved and used as well. Ari says that you have such strongly angled roofs so close to the equator. Yes, but actually because of torrential rain. We may not have snow, but we do have huge amounts of rain here as well. So I think that's the main reason why. Let's see. Yeah, what I really love is that in addition to, I mean, like, you know, the historic, the absolutely beautiful, a lot of the, I mean, they're considered like historic, right? So conservation buildings and all that. But Singapore's approach to conservation is that all these buildings are still used. So there'll be like offices, even now, just like shops, you can buy stuff, offices upstairs. So I've worked in many an office that was based in a shop house like this. There'll be bars and whatnot in them, and I really enjoyed that because these beautiful structures are still being used as still part of everyday life in Singapore. Yeah, so I absolutely freaking adore it. Okay, let me just maybe finish out some of these sketches. Oops. Let me move the side pillar. Ours says the cost of maintaining buildings under some conservation is low as ghastly though. Yes. So they can be pretty bad. Thing is that not all of these okay, I'm not an expert, right? I actually do know some experts in this area. But not all of them need to be maintained as pure historic features. I think you need to get some kind of like permits and applications and whatnot, definitely, if actually side pillar. For any kind of work, but I think not all of them have the same standards of conservation or preservation that's needed. So I think like there's, if I'm not wrong, I think it's something more along the lines of they would consider the like whether it's a structure that's different versus like the facade that needs to be restored or maintained as well. And I think all those have like different kind of preservation standards and needs as well. Where is this line going? That seems to be. This bit looks a little wrong to me. Let's see. Ari says that yes, when I talk about very different perspectives, here we have buildings that are minimum 100 plus years old, some even several hundred. So when you repair something that's like 200 years old and must adhere to conservation, you're using the same original building techniques. That becomes insane to finance. Yeah, no, completely true as well. So actually, just very recently, we haven't really had that kind of like even research and whatnot into this thing. So I think it was just last year, the Conservation Authority here worked with the Architecture University as a model of how, if this restoration in using the original techniques were to be done. I think they just did that last year in one particular unit as well. But I think that's like the different aspects, right? Because I mean, again, I'm not an expert, but it's the conservation versus preservation, maybe, like keeping something the way that it was originally built versus keeping it as part of our fabric and so it's not destroyed. And I think Singapore's approach is more the latter, so it's that we adapt to make sure that buildings are used, can we repurpose them without destroying them, kind of like still keeping the structural maybe integrity or alluding to what it is or was as well. I think it's very much more the Singaporean approach, which is actually quite different. I think a lot of European countries in particular would be quite aghast with how we manage our historic buildings, but I enjoy the approach for many of the buildings. Let's see. Yeah, Rhymers. This isn't going too bad. Let's see. Ground floor sketch. All right, let's create some so technically there shouldn't be should I build it out that way? Maybe I should, huh? Sorry, what I'm saying is that because for a lot of these, like, shop houses and all that, this would be a throughway. They call it a 5 foot way because it's 5 feet. Sorry, I was saying that because it's meant to be a throughway, I technically shouldn't wall it up. I should leave like a gap and all that. I think I'll do that. It means I need to redo some of this, but that's fine. Let's see. RH says that it can be a problem when there are many buildings in bustling cities that have some sort of conservation going on, since cities should be about the people living there first and foremost. The building you're making makes sense. You see many styles on the ground floor, or shop on the ground floor and living quarters above. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And what's nice is that some things are like actually really long. Then there are like courtyards in the middle, entire families who live in them. So the Singapore River, we are a port city, and the Singapore River, these shop houses, they're still along the river. And how they worked was at the back end was where the cargo would be loaded off, because like the river stank, pollution and stuff like that. And then the front end, and they were really long, right? So the front end of the stores was away from the smell of the river, and like where customers would come through, and then through the back was where things would be loaded up, and all that. So yeah, I haven't figured out how to do the roof aspects and kind of like sketch out the side of the building. I'm leaving that for another time. Or it says the one place where you rarely see this design is in the USA. Is that because they have so much space? They've killed their cities with their car-centric design. No, I think you're very right. And it's definitely a... Oh, see, I've done a silly thing. I have done a silly thing. Okay, let's... Get that. Down to the side pillar. Place you there. Okay, cool. Okay. Because what I understand, like, so city centers are completely like for business, and then the suburbs for living. Okay. Wait, where's the sketch? Get rid of the sketch. Sorry, sketch, you were just getting in my way. Is that? Okay. Okay, now see, the thing is that this pillar looks way too... Okay, so that's why I'm having my concerns. Is because it's way too narrow to be like weight supporting. If that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna I'm gonna blow it up. I'll extend everything. I've extended that by 4. Art says, and that's how you see nothing but rows and rows of houses there. Yeah, well, I guess here you in Singapore, we do have our residential areas, and I think people would also be absolutely weirded out with all these high-rise apartments, right? There are very few houses in Singapore because of our space constraints. Think, let's see, between upper beams, okay. Where are my beams? Come back, beams. All right, that's fine. Okay, okay, that works. You know, like, really, I think the only reason why this style of art the reason why this style of art is like easier for me is because it really is more construction than art. Oh, that's too much, isn't it? Okay. Ba-ba-ba. Lego art, almost art? Yeah. I mean, Lego art is pixel art, right? Just like physically. And even though I don't play it, like, I think Minecraft also has this very similar. That's a weird looking angle. Oops. I don't know how. That's not right. Oh, okay. That looks more sane. Is it too thin? No, it is 2 pixels. Isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Fine, fine, fine. Leave it, Orange. Orange says that they still prefer how SimCity 4 looked to 3D rendered city simulators today. Pixel style gives the game a special kind of atmosphere. Yeah, it does. And I think what's also really interesting is that a lot of the games that appeared to be pixel style actually weren't. They were like full painted scenes. It's just that, you know, with the older systems, they kind of got rendered looking as though they were pixel art. But like, you know, the ones that were created with pixel art assets, they do something special to me. Was I think SimCity was pixel though, wasn't it? Or was it painted and scanned? I feel like you're right in that, or other. I do think that was pixel. see. Okay. Gonna copy from there. Paste there. That's an interesting. Yeah, Monkey Island 1 and 2 are definitely examples of the painted and scanned. SimCity 4. Ooh, SimCity 4 is also drawn. I didn't know that. Super cool. Okay, you know what? I'll need the sketch. Needs the move. Wait, ground floor sketch, where are you? The reason why I'm moving the sketch is because I need to create more space. For the walkway. Maybe that's too much space. Like that. Okay, that looks like it could be a little passageway, I think. Okay, ground floor. Oh, give me a second, Rhymers. My mouse just died. Yeah, that's right, RH. A mouse, and a dead mouse as well. Perfect for an owl boy. Or for the kitty cat that's running around. Hey there, Christy. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great one. Hoot, hoot, hoot to you. I'm okay. I'm a little tired and sleepy. But yeah, just doing some pixel art. Trying a project that's way too difficult for me, and I'm slowly working my way through it. But yeah, I'm trying to make a shop house, which I have to say I'm pretty pleased with, to be honest. And if I do say so myself. Okay, players. Oh, let me delete this. Probably should save. Realize I haven't saved in a while. Upper floor. Oops. Let's get rid of these walls, shall we? be too much. We're not sure that we need. Okay. Oh no, Christy, you got COVID a second time?
Voice effect redeemed.
It is jialat leh. I'm sorry that you fall sick again. You got see doctor or not? And yes, I saw you redeem the Singlish. Hey Christy, where in Malaysia are you? You got down there got shop house also or not? Have right? Okay, I'm trying to draw the floor properly. Where is the floor? Okay. I think can lah. Don't have. Hey, where? Where your why so dark bro? Go to shopping, a lot of people Oh, okay. I think this English has expired. Where is this? Alright, I'm just working on this floor. Hopefully can get into a good place. Excuse me. Oh, you need to quarantine again for 5 days. Oh no. Can you do it at home though? You can, right? Okay, let's see. Turn off all the upper floors. Turn off this sketch as well. Okay. Yes, Christy, you do need more rest. You have your meds and all that, and you shouldn't be watching Twitch. Ooh, but this is an interesting random fact. Christy, thanks for redeeming a random owl fact, and Rhymebot has shared one. It says that owls are able to see ultraviolet light and are able to detect urine trails left by prey. Ooh, that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that owls could see in ultraviolet. Yes, Christy, you need to drink more water. Drink all the water. Okay. Let's get all of this back on. Can you tell Sasha that you fell ill, or? Ah, yes. I just steal a window from upstairs. Shift N. Ground floor. Actually, I shouldn't be using this color. Should be using the darker one. Because it is shadowed. Christy says, if I see Neil and Lim stream, I'll tell them. Yeah, okay, I will tell them if I do see them. Rest well. Ooh, and RH says, how is Sasha? She's in Spain, right? Yeah, so when Sasha's based in Singapore, it's actually across the street from me, which is ridiculous. And the neighborhood that we live in actually have lots of these kinds of shop houses. They're not that pretty, they're not that well preserved, they're not seen as, being necessarily that historic, but definitely adds a lot of the color. Oh, thank you, Christy, for saying the cat is cute and for helping to redeem the cat tax. I think she's in the living room now, sulking because she wants... I don't know what she wants. Ba-ba-ba. I'm actually gonna try to pseudo wooden slats like that. And I think I can get rid of the sketch now. Delete that layer. That doesn't look too bad. Pretty interesting, y'all. Pretty interesting. part of me just feels like I need to make this side wall. Just absolutely I don't know how it works. I'm trying to figure out how the right wall will kind of merge into the wall, because I'm gonna have to fake, like, you know, a wall here. Okay, actually, let me then just right wall. I'll use a weird obscene color. Because the wall would kind of continue. Oh, bugger. The wall will continue from here, definitely. You know, kind of like that, wouldn't it? Yeah. I haven't quite solved that part of the equation yet. Well, how I'm gonna deal with the right side of the roof. Am I gonna have it angled back down? I might, huh? Where's my... Oh, I think I got rid of my roof sketch. But if this is... Let's see... Ba. You know, because I'm trying to figure out what feels like a appropriate angle. I think this kind of feels good, actually. I might just take it down to that. Do 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 do. Oops. Did that work? I mean, apart from the weird color choice. I guess it kind of does. Oops. Whoops, 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 whoops. Whoops. There you go. No. There you go. Okay, no, so I don't want it to... And, just like that. I'm assuming it has to be more like this. Is this a color thing? Oh, interesting. Ba ba ba. Interesting. I feel like that kinda works. I'm feeling pretty proud of myself, pretty smug. If I do say so myself. Okay, so all this random pink and yellow bits, that's just like placeholder. I'm just trying to get the structure and shape in. But yeah, what do you think, Rhymers? Okay, I think I do need to darken. Need to darken things a little bit. So no? Heart eye, no. Bugger. You know what? Just undo that. See. Thank you, RH. I appreciate that. RJ said that they let another friend play with them on the mod pack they've been playing. They choose to do a mobility build. Ooh. How's that coming along? I'm also gonna how do I edit the colors? Yeah, I think that kind of works. I'll need to like fix out some of the colors, but not too bad if I do say so myself. I'm pleased to manage to like fix or figure out how to do this. I don't think it's perfect, but see. RJ says that this origin lets him phase through walls and have a launch ability. Ooh, and you found him an item that gives him perma speed too, and an item that's double. He's a cat that has zoomies right now. That's amazing. I love that. All right, Rhymers, I am actually pretty happy with that. I mean, I think it's a good place to pause for now. I'm gonna not overwork this. I'm pretty pleased with where we got to. Didn't quite expect to spend such a long time. 2.5 hours, one of my longest streams. Let's see. I'm super intrigued to see what the time lapse of this might look like. Oh. You know what? How do I change that? Okay, let me make it super fast. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna stop that. Oh, RJ. The best part is that you can ride him. Dang, so he's your Uber. That's brilliant. Wait, RJ, you're just a few days, aren't you? Away from your birthday. Is it tomorrow? Is your birthday tomorrow? Oh, 4 more days. Oh, I thought it was 5 days on Tuesday. Must have remembered wrong. 4 more days. Okay. All right. Thinking that let's send the love over to someone. Let's go send the love to Yama, who's an absolute sweetheart. If I can find my correct window. All right, let's do that. Let's raid Yama. It's been amazing having you here with me, hanging out as always. I'm just surprised that for a few things. One, that y'all are here watching me do pixel art. Y'all could have done very many different things with your Saturday morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where in the world you are. And you chose to hang out with me, which I really appreciate. I'm also surprised I, one, got this much done with the pixel art. It's entirely new to me. If you just joined us, hi. And goodbye. This rhymes with orange. I usually play variety games, the point and click sort, retro indie games. I've been trying to learn how to play, how to do pixel art, or I wanted to. I let it go for quite a while, and RJ, who's in chat right now, constantly has been nagging me to pick it up again. So I started this week, and I decided to set myself the project of doing something maybe a bit too ambitious, but shophouses, some of my favorite architecture in Singapore. So if you like point and click games, shophouses, random cozy streams, pixel art, and just calm chaos, drop us a follow. I'd love to see you again next time. But now we'll go raid Yama. Till then, have a great evening, afternoon, or morning. All the love.